Hi viewers, today we learn how we can automate mobile apps using Appium. So for that we need to learn how to configure Appium first, then only we can move forward to automate our apps. So today I will try to demonstrate you end-to-end scenario from configuration to execute our first app, first app. So for doing that, first of all, we need to configure Java. So Java can be downloaded from this site, oracle.com, and here you will get a SDK. So please make sure to download the SDK. Don't If you have already downloaded JRE, it will not work. You need to download JDK, Java Development Tool Kit. Okay, so please make sure that you have downloaded JDK. So once the JDK has been downloaded, you need to configure your environment. For doing that, what you need to do here is like you need to right click here in my computer, go to properties, advanced system settings, environment variables. So here I already configured my Java, so better to configure here in system variables. This is specifically to the user, so it might be possible you have a 2 or 3 different users, and if you have configured your path or Java environment to this particular specific user and you logged in into a different user, then it will not work. So better go with the system variable and configure your Java path something like this. Here I already configured it, so if I say my Java is not configured, so it looks something like this. So I need to go here and say Java underscore home and paste this. Just remember, wherever you unzip your JDK folder slash bin, you need to take a complete full path till slash bin and say okay. So once you've done this particular thing, then after that you need to click OK, and then you need to verify whether your Java has been configured correctly or not. For doing that, go to command prompt and just type Java minus version. See here, it gives your result. Suppose for example, I will show you if Java has been not configured, so what will happen and what should be the result. Just for a temporary basis, I've just deleted that. And now if I go here and say Java minus version, so see here it's saying clearly that Java is not a recognized as an internal or external command. So if if you have again configured that new Java underscore home and paste till bin and say okay. So don't try to open already opened command prompts, it will not work. See here, it will give you the same result. If I open a new command prompt and say Java version, so it will give you a proper result. So please make sure once you have installed your Java, after that you have verify it whether Java has been configured properly or not. Otherwise, your further steps will not work. Please keep this in mind. Thank you. So, going forward, now our first step, downloading of SDK is done, configuring Java environment is done. Now come to sorry. Now environment variable is done, sometimes what happen, it's better to configure a GRE as well. If but but actually, if you have already configured JDK, then GRE is not so much required. But better if but for better thing, you can even configure GRE underscore GRE underscore home as well. Okay. So now we come to configure our Android environment. Now let's see what for doing that what we need. We need an environment SDK, software development kit. You might think that when we are going to test only, then what is the reason of downloading SDK? So basically, why we need a SDK is to set up all our configuration. Everything should work, and if we have configured the development kit in our machine, then only the Appium can interact and execute Android related apps. Going further, I will show you why I am saying that this particular line. So, okay, so let's start. So, for downloading this Android, you need to go to this website called developer.android.com and download Eclipse ADT, Android Development Tools. Okay, in this tools you will get something Eclipse plus ADT tools, Android SDK tools, and platforms, and all those things which is included here. So you need to download a complete package from here and keep it in one location. For example, I have already downloaded it and kept here. It looks something like this. Once you download, it will give you this particular build. Once you unzip it, you will get something like this. These three folders. One is Eclipse, one is SDK, and one is SDK Manager.exe. Now once you downloaded this build and extracted it, now we need to configure Android to a environment variable as well. So keep one thing in mind, that whatever you download, it might be a Java, Android, and Maven, or even Appium, we better need to configure into a environment variable. So first step, whatever we download, we need to set our environment variable. So let's start to uh, configure our environment. So again, same steps, right click on my computer, go to properties, advanced system settings, environment variable. Now see here, I have already configured Android underscore home. So if you see here, this is my path. If I open this path, it will open till here. So the same location which I showed you here, so SDK. Till SDK you need to copy and paste it here. And once it's done, say OK. Okay. So in Java, I have missed one step, that is called path. Once you have configured your uh, Java variable, you need to call that variable into a path as well. So I will show you how to call that particular path. If you open this percentage Java underscore home and percentage, you will navigate to the location where our Java has been configured. See, this is the location. So that means if I say this particular thing, if I add this particular thing in the path, so that will directly open our this bin location. Okay, so where java.exe is present, and this is the thing which this is a command which we are executing it, java space hyphen version, right? So this is a one thing. The second thing is go to edit here, and or otherwise directly open this, go at the rate percent android android underscore home percentage. If you click this, now again see that SDK folder has been opened, right? So the same, both the things you need to include in the path. Go to path, edit it, just use semicolon in the end of the path. Please make sure that don't use anything else or edit this path. This is very important variable or path for the Windows as well. Sometimes what happened that one of my student came to me and told me that, sir, my Java is not working, but I have configured everything. So what he has done is he has not included the semicolon here and added something like this, and this is a reason that his Java is not working properly. So better to add a semicolon and then your variable. And suppose, for example, if I want to add an Android variable to a path, so what I need to do here is I need to add a semicolon and say percentage Android underscore home percentage. So it will add till only SDK. So please make sure if I copy this and go to run and paste this, it will open till this. But we need to include a just a minute, I will show you what I have already included it, right? So it will help you to configure properly. So see, there are a lot of things which have been already added to a path. But to configure Android, we need to add Android related path. See here what I have done. So if I copy paste it, let me open a notepad, new, go here and see Android platform tools, Android tools, okay, and then I have added Android version. So basically we only require two things. If you want to add some more values, I have added this. I will tell you later why I have added that actually. But better to add only these two things and it should start working. So once you add these two variables into your environment, path variable, then we need to verify whether our Android has been configured or not. For doing that, go to command prompt and say adt. See, this command is not working. So adb. See, this command is working fine. So basically, adb devices. If I say adb devices, that means what all devices has been attached to your laptop using USB has been displayed here. So see, already I have already added my configured my mobile, to laptop or connected my mobile to a laptop. That is the reason it's showing here a MAC address of my mobile. Okay. So once if your ADB command is working fine, that means you are good to go with next step because Android has been configured correctly. Now, what is our next step? So see here, Android has been Android SDK you can download from here. You can configure your Android environment using the below steps, and once it's done, you need to verify whether your Android has been configured properly or not. So for doing that, there are two options. You can directly open these and try whether check whether things are working fine or not. Okay, so once all these things are done, then what we can do here is there is a one more option to verify whether Android has been configured properly or not. That is, open again a command prompt and called Android Android and click enter. So once you open this particular command, it will open a SDK manager tool. See here, Android SDK manager has been opened. So here you will get some interesting things. Let me try to explain you what all these things are. So basically Android has been started from 1.5 version to today current version is 4.4. In some Nexus Galaxy devices 4.4.4 is already released, but the next release is Android L. So there, if you see here, there are two different things. One is the Android version and the API level. These are both these things are tightly coupled. Basically, they wanted to tell us that we are using this particular API level, application programming interface level, API, application programming interface level. So we don't need to bother whether that what exactly that is. Okay, so basically what we need here is we need to know which version is supported by Appium. So basically Appium supports from 4.2.2 API level 17 to above versions. It will not support below versions. Please keep this in mind that if you want to automate your app using Appium, you need to install 4.2.2 or API level 17 and above to work with Appium. Okay, fine. So for below versions, I think Cell Android will support. We'll talk that later, but please keep this in mind that we need to install above API level 17. So if you see here, there are a lot of things. So don't bother about all those things and just install 4.4 with completely. Okay. So actually it's showing two updates are already available. So I'm not going to install right now, but yeah, in the initial state, I already just take this and tools. That's it. Install it. So it will take so much of time to install all these packages. So please be patient and install all those things. I think it will take more than an hour to download all those packages and install. Don't worry, just install, take your time and install all those things. Okay, so our next step is to once these things has been installed, now we are ready with the Android complete platform testing. Okay, so I'm assuming that all the viewers which are going to see my video are having a basic knowledge of Java, TestNG, Selenium WebDrivers, because all these three things are needed to learn and execute your scripts in Appium, because Appium is using a Java as well as Selenium WebDriver jars. Okay, so now come to now we are now we have we already installed Java, Android, okay, and configured everything. Now time is come to download and install Appium. So for doing that, what we need to do here is we need to download and install some prerequisites. Okay, so let me copy this and paste here. Okay, so there are some prerequisites to run Appium. Okay, so what are all those? So first thing is node.js. Okay, you can download the node.js from this site. See here, there are a lot of builds are available for 32-bit and 64-bit, whatever your machine supports. According to that, you can download and install it. Once you install it, then go to again command prompt and say node. Okay, so it will prompt something like this. That means your node has been installed properly, and this is a exe. So once you install it, it will automatically download and set the path in the environment variable. Okay, no problem. Okay, now the next step is to download a framework. You might think that what is the need of downloading .NET framework when we are working at Java? Then what is the need of downloading a framework? Actually, Appium opens a UI portion as well, which for which .NET framework is a prerequisite, or that particular Appium has been developed in .NET framework. So .NET framework environment is also required. So you can download from here. It's a free, so you don't need to worry about these things. Just download it and install it. Okay. So after that, now come to Appium. Download Appium from this location. Sorry, this is not a correct location. Let me show you appium.io. From here, you need to download Appium. Okay, so let me copy this link. There is some confusion, and I have copied something else there actually. No problem. So, so once you download this, you will get a build something like this. Let me open for you to show personal. Yeah. Okay. So build looks like something like this. Okay. Application for Windows 1.2.1. Once you unzip it, you will get something like this. Okay. So you don't need to do anything. You just download the Appium. That's it. Before that, the prerequisite is to install two things. One is Node.js, and the second thing is .NET Framework. So there is a appium.exe. If you double click it, it will open our interface which has been designed on .NET Framework, and that is the reason .NET Framework is required. Okay, great. So there are some options. Okay, so there are two possibilities. With the GUI, you can configure all those properties like this. Okay, application path, packages, and all those things. We'll talk about this later. But yeah, you can. There is always a two options. One thing you can configure through a UI or through a command prompt as well. If I do start, so what it will do, it will launch a node server. Okay, so in this node server, what it says is it started on this particular local host, and it will give you a port as well, 4723. So these things are already mentioned here, and if you need to change it, you need to just stop it, and you can change here from here as well. Okay, okay, all these things I am going to talk about later as well. Okay, so till now, just again I'm going to brief you what all things that we have done it. First, we have installed Java and setted our environment and setted our Java to a environment variable. Next thing is we have downloaded Android and configured to our local machine. Okay. So all these things are ready. Now Appium has been already downloaded and configured. Configuration, there is no as such configuration, but yeah, for prerequisite we need to download a node and a .NET framework. Okay, so before going to start, I will just give you an idea how to start in Appium. After that, I will show you how to configure or connect our mobile to a laptop and verify whether our mobile has been connected to a laptop in a debug mode. That is very important. I will talk that particular thing later, but let's talk about what all things we have did it. Okay, okay, great. Okay, let me try to show you how to execute an Appium, or I can say how to start a Appium server. Okay, go to Appium location, or I can say here this is the location where I'm going, or I can open it for you to show how go this personal APM this, and here till here I already showed you. Now go to node module and then bin. Okay, this is the location. Okay, just copy this, open a command prompt, go to that directory, okay, and say node appium, and then click enter. In fraction of seconds, you can see that Appium server has been started. See, it's not giving a proper 127.0.0.1, but this server has been started locally. Okay, okay, fine. So there are always a two options to start Appium server. One is using a command prompt, and the earlier thing which I have showed you using a GUI. For a time being, I am just stopping this server. Okay, okay. N- Now let's talk about how to connect our mobile to a laptop and test our app on it. Okay. There might be a two questions. One is, if you don't have an Android real device, then how to verify or test your app, right? So there is a Android virtual device are available. We'll talk that later. Why I am going for a real device is basically real devices are a little bit faster than the AVDs. Okay, AVDs means Android virtual devices. Okay, please make sure that in future if I use AVDs, that means Android virtual devices. Okay, so basically virtual devices are the emulators which we can open here in laptop itself and test our scripts. Okay. Going further, I'm assuming that everybody knows that how to download Eclipse and configure or create project and basic steps they know about it, right? Installing test ng and all those things. I'm assuming that all these things are already known to my viewers. Okay, let's start to run. Sorry, sorry. So let's talk about how to configure our device. So basically, this is my device. I already connected my device to a laptop, and this is the interface. Okay. So basically, whenever you connect your device to a laptop, it will show you something like this, right? This is a hard drive mode, or I can say mass storage mode, where you can only download the data or copy the data to a phone or SD card, right? So basically you cannot execute your commands to mobile because your mobile has been not ready to accept the commands, right? So for doing that we need to enable a debug mode. For doing that there are some steps. Let me show you how we can do that. Go to settings. Okay, go to general tab. Okay, here if you see there is a developer options, right? You need to open this developer options and enable a debug mode. But from 4.2.2 what Android has done is they have hidden this particular option. To enable this option, what you need to do here is like you need to go to about device and this build number, right? There is an option called build number. You need to continuously click 7 times. If I click right now, it will give you a message saying that your developer option is already enabled because I have already done that. Let me show you. See here, developer mode has been already turned on, right? So that particular option is already turned on. That is the reason it's showing that. But if that option is hidden, you need to click build number 7 times continuously. Then only you will see this option, developer options. Okay. Once you get this developer options, you need to open developer option and take this debug mode. Okay, see here, my system has been gone. Why? Because this is a mandatory step which is required. Again I am going to enable that and try to sync. Sorry for the distance. This is a Samsung app called SiteSync which I'm using it. But this app is basically we can do all those things, but once you start executing your scripts, it will not show here. Okay, but for mirroring your mobile, you can use it if you have a Samsung mobile. But again, this side sync has been supporting only with some specific mobile handsets. So please check those things. Okay. So once you're done with this particular thing, now you can verify whether your mobile has been connected properly or not. So for doing that, go to command prompt and say ADB devices. So if you see here ADB devices, now it starts showing that your device has been connected properly, right? This is very important, very important. If your device is not listing under here, then your scripts are not going to execute because scripts don't know where to execute your scripts, right? So we need to point in which mobile you need to execute your scripts. If you open a emulator, then also you will get one more mobile listed here in this particular list. Okay, fine. So our next step. So till now what we have done is we have installed Java, we have installed Android, we have installed Appium, we have we have configured our mobile. So these are all steps to start to execute our scripts. There are lot of steps, but I'm sure that after seeing my videos you can easily configure all these steps one by one. And once you're done till this stage, if you are able to see if you are able to see your mobile are listing under this particular list, then you are good to go for the further steps. Okay, let's start to try to execute one of the scripts. So as I said that if I start to execute my scripts, then it will not show here, but at least I will show you to launch our app. It will show till the launch, then it won't execute in side scenes. So there are a lot of apps available in the market called Mobileer. You can download it and you can mirror your mobile to a laptop, or there are some open source jars are available which I will show you. So let me disconnect this first. Okay, let me show you some good jar files to open this for your testing. Just a minute. Okay, open a command prompt, go to that location. Okay, and say java minus jar and asm dot jar. If you click enter, then you will see that all devices connected to your machine will be start displaying here. Okay, if I say okay. Okay, now see my mobile has been started displaying here. Okay, great. So that means my mobile screen has been started displaying here, but here I cannot do any operations. This is a one-way communication. If I do any operations in mobile, you will see here. Okay, see. Okay, great. Okay, so let me try to open a package called. So okay, I'm assuming that every viewer have a basic idea how to download a Eclipse and create a project, right? So I already have a project called Appium underscore mobile underscore testing, and package has been created called com.qa.test. Okay. In this, I'm going to create a new class called WhatsApp test. Okay. Click finish. Okay. So I'm not going to show you all the steps first. I'm just going to copy paste some of the code. Okay. I will explain you each and every step. Okay. Copy this and paste under this. If you see, there are some errors, right? So we need to rectify it. What are those errors, right? So let me check it out. What are those errors? Okay. Let mm, okay. All are static. Okay, no problem. Basically, this is the problem. Okay. So all errors are gone, and I have included this. Just remove this, and here I have removed static. So I have added this. Okay. So all errors are gone. Basically, whenever we do a copy paste, there are some we face some issues, right? So we even need to understand how to solve those things. Okay, great. So now there are some desired capabilities. These are very important things, very important things. Okay, so in this particular class I'm going to show you only this how this test can be run on your Android devices. Okay, so I'm assuming that all these things we are going to learn in the next class, but just there are two things which are very important called app package and app activity. So the important thing here is like to how to find the app package name and app activity name. So for any app which you are going to automate it, all these things are very easily you will get it, but these two things you need to learn how to get app package name and app activity. Okay, so in next classes I will show you how to get these things. Okay. Okay. So this particular test case has been designed using a TestNG framework. Okay. So there are some things like what it will do is it will open. I will give you a test case what it will do. First, it will open a WhatsApp and it will search for our name called dad. This is my contact list, so it will search for dad. Okay, and what it will do is once it will get us dad, so it will send a text message called hello, and then it will click an image and set a name called new image, and then it will take a screenshot if required or send the data. Okay, you got it. Okay, if I don't need to take a snapshot, actually I was trying to. Okay, apart from this we need to learn how to take a IDs or XPaths, right? This is a very important step, right? Because when we automate website, we used to install a Firebug to find the XPath and IDs and all those things, right? So, but in mobile there is no Firebug is available, or there is no other option to install any app to find the XPath and XPath IDs and CSS, all those details, right? Okay. For doing that, what we need to do here is like go to command prompt and say UI automator viewer and click enter. Okay, it will open a UI automator view. Okay, I will just giving you an example. I'm not going to demonstrate you how to take a XPath ID. Just for a beginner point of view, I'm going to show you how to take a how to take how to find a ID or XPath for a specific. See here, what I have done is I have clicked on this. So what it will do is it will take a snapshot from your mobile and keep it here, and according to that you can click any image or interface. See here, here you will get all the details. Okay, so this is a way you can find it out, uh, IDs and XPath and all those things. If you see here, there is an option called home underscore this is the ID. You need to just copy paste it and open here, and remaining things are same, like for entering the text you just need to say dot send keys. For clicking particular button, say dot click, है ना? We already know all these things or learned in a Selenium classes, right? Okay, so let me try to execute our script. For executing this script, first of all we need to start our Appium server, right? So Appium server, right? So here you need to say node Appium. Okay. Now Appium server has been started successfully. Now let me try to show you to execute our script. Just right click on this and say run as testng. Okay. Sorry, I have not saved it. Just click OK to save it. Okay. If you see here, here data has been started. Okay. So let's see what it will do. It has launched WhatsApp. Now it will go for search and say DAG. Right? Enter it. Okay. Now type hello. Now take an image. Right. It's a little bit slow, but yeah, these are the steps which has been executed properly. Right. So this is the way you can start automating your apps. You can do all operations. Right. So thanks for watching my video, and I hope after watching this video you can able to easily automate your apps. Drop me a mail or message in the below comments. Thanks for watching.